England. Students whose classes have been moved online. What is the funniest thing to happen in an online class so far? My professor turned on closed captions, and when he finally figured out what it was, he was like, "What type of communist Nintendo technology is this? Hold up, do you mean captions on Zoom or just on a video? We're using Google Hangouts or whatever it's called now. It has an option for closed captions. My classes are in Spanish, so they were off, and my professor thought someone was sending messages." On our second online class, one of the kids didn't realise his mic wasn't muted and proceeded to start talking to his cat, off screen, who was apparently drinking out of the kid's water glass. It went something like this: "You damn obese cat. You just sit there on your ass and eat all day. You don't even do a damn thing for us." Before any of us could react, our teacher, a devout environmentalist and the most aggravating teacher I have ever had, started lecturing this kid for being cruel to his pets while we all just watched. Then she actually made this kid apologise to his cat, which took him a long time to do because he was laughing so hard. You know, as soon as he was done, he muted the mic properly and said, "I take the apology back. F you, cat." That's the only way to communicate with cats, to be honest. Had a seminar this afternoon. I joined the Zoom meeting to see my Oxbridge-educated, world-leading expert professor lying horizontally in bed. It's a master's course. For some reason, the image of him giving utterly 0 Fs just killed me. I don't know if it would have been better or worse if he was lying vertically. I'm imagining him trapped inside one of those fold-up wall beds. Someone's cat sat in front of the camera. Aw, cute. Cute indeed. Not even 2 minutes into first online live stream class, moaning noises start coming over the stream. Thinking it's a joke, Professor stops and asks whoever it is to stop. Noises keep coming and suddenly they get really loud. Next thing we know, someone's mum starts screaming and yelling at someone in the background, and sounds of crying are heard. Turns out, someone's brother was watching adult films and accidentally hooked up to his speaker instead of his headphones. Although still not sure how one can actually make that mistake without knowing it. Anyway, Professor continued on with class, trying not to laugh as we got to hear every word the mother told her other son from the other room. Best part was after the mum had finally calmed down and stopped yelling, the kid whose mother it was got up and called from his doorway, "Mum, can you keep it down? I'm in the middle of an online class right now." The mother came into the room 2 minutes later and apologised for the excess noise. Best lecture ever. I actually made that mistake when I was a teenager. I had really crappy headphones with no sound isolation, and I had to manually select them instead of the speakers because they were both always plugged in. The speakers were so loud that it sounded the same as the headphones would. What I was watching was very loud and intense. My mother started banging on the door, shouting, "Is someone in there with you? Are you all right? Are you hurt?" My dad shouted from the other room, "He's watching a video, leave him alone. He's just watching porn." I don't think I left my room that day. At least I had a lock on the door. As opposed to the time when they both came into my room without knocking a couple of years before. My mother immediately asked, "Why are you sitting naked in front of your computer? And since when do you use the mouse with your left hand?" I'm sure these aren't exactly the words that were used, but it's how I remember it. So embarrassing. We stan your dad. That is jokes. He was in bed. It's actually quite nice to know that I'm not the only one who works from bed. Since COVID, I've had to work from home and I literally just wake up and start work. I'm so glad I don't have to have my camera on for some meetings because the state of me, I literally look disgusting. No, that is so embarrassing. There's literally nothing worse. Like, I'm 25 and if I'm watching a film and there's like a sexy moment or something, I still cringe if my parents are there. Like, I genuinely have to fast forward it. I can't physically sit and watch it with them there. I don't think that will ever not be a thing. Do you know what I mean? This doesn't apply to me, but definitely the funniest thing so far is that students in Wuhan came together and reported the learning app they used until it got taken off the App Store. Google Classroom, Zoom, Moodle and other similar apps have fallen to 2 stars in the Play Store. Laughing my ass off. I love democracy. My teacher showed us her dog. Half of us commented, "Good boy." It was great. The other half can go F themselves. So if I don't like dogs, I shouldn't exist? You can set a virtual background, e.g. green screen. Set up me in class with King Jong-un beside me for the whole hour at the desk. Ha! My student, no, I'm just a Univ admin, but the professors told me this, changed his background like 5 times during class. It started from SpongeBob to some memes that Boomer can't understand. Sorry, I can't upvote you. Have 69 upvotes. Not on video call, but in the chat. I managed to rickroll 20 people consecutively. It was beautiful. He is the Messiah. You should have included a link saying pick for proof and proceed to rickroll r/ask Reddit as well. Missed opportunity. One guy in my class wore a sombrero, so now everyone wears a sombrero. Apparently I did not prepare well enough for the apocalypse because I, unlike this entire classroom of people, do not have a spare sombrero laying around in quarantine. Our language teachers handed them out for some party. I'm just thinking actually, so that guy got caught ripping a bong, right, by his teacher. But what can the teacher actually do because he's smoking weed on his own property? So I'm guessing the teacher can report it to the head teacher or something like that, or the parents, but he can't really get in trouble, can he? I don't know actually. Are there any teachers watching this? Can you help us in the comments? What would happen if you catch your student smoking weed on camera during a lesson? I was attending my class, and my roommate, who was in the very corner of the camera, didn't think he was visible on my camera and proceeded to take a really big hit from his bong when I was talking, so my camera was blown up on everybody's screen. Nice. A student joined in, didn't mute his microphone and started making fun of the teacher's name with a family member who was in the room. Didn't realise for a couple seconds before finally muting his microphone. Everybody heard him, including the teacher. Yikes. What did the teacher say? My friend took his webcam with him to shit. I have some respect for that kid. That takes guts. My teacher's dog, a small one, ran to him during the class. It would have been cute, but it got hilarious when his other dog, Great Dane, ran toward him too like it was jealous. It bumped him out of his chair and seemed to be licking him. Someone's mum came into my classmate's room and told her that she's disappointed and disgusted that she clogged the toilet. Disgusting. Why does somebody not know how to flush the toilet after they've had a shet? Some kid pulled out a green screen and green screened himself into SpongeBob. That kid is a genius. Don't know if it's funny, but my math teacher decided that he wanted coffee. So instead of muting himself, he started to boil water. It was the loudest thing I have ever heard through my headphones. It took him another 30 seconds to realise that he didn't mute himself and quickly did. But who's teaching if the teacher have muted his mic? The kettle. Professor was at his home, and suddenly his wife came, asking when does his goddamn lecture end. He surprised, saying it would end soon. She wanted the D. Double D. Dishes done. On a class video call, me and my friend both put our pet rats on our shoulder and everybody laughed. I love pet rats. I used to have them. Now, you must pay the pet tax. Aged teacher who wasn't tech savvy was having difficulty in using the interface. Some kid in the GC commented, "Boomer remover." I just hope the teacher didn't read it. Kids these days are insane. Okay, Zoomer. Oh, I get it. Boomer remover is COVID-19. It's actually so mad how much our lives have changed. Like, reading this thread is mad because online lectures are now the norm, like we've just adapted and they're normal now, whereas they were never a thing before. It's just crazy how everyone's just adapted and now it's like a normal thing for us all. I had an online meeting with my department about online exams and how they're implemented. One of the senior staff members cut off every once in a while for 5 seconds. Once, it happened in the middle of a sentence where he was describing the procedure if a student disconnected during an assessed Skype meeting. He went, "And in case one of the students cuts off," and his video feed went black and sound cut off. Beautiful. If anyone has used Blackboard for online lectures, you'll know you can click a button to raise your hand and a little icon will pop up next to your name. Since discovering this, everyone on my course has taken to waving bye to each other all at the end of a lecture by repeatedly raising and lowering our hands. It's not much, but it's hilarious to see a bunch of notifications pop up at the end of a lecture. That's adorable. One of the lecturers recorded a PowerPoint with voiceover, unaware that his webcam was also capturing video. He shared the audio, the presentation, and a 1-hour close-up of subtle movements of his crotch to all his students. The PowerPoint presentation didn't excite him much. Oh my god. Classmate's grandma farting. Good old Grams. A student muted the teacher. How? We use Microsoft Teams, and at the moment the students have just as much power as the teachers. This didn't happen in online classes, but in our group chat. A boy accidentally sent the porn he was watching. It was a low-budget hentai with bad animation and generic character design. Everyone laughed in the chat, but nobody talked about it in our classroom. At least that I know. I'm picturing 2 stick figures mashing together. I know it's probably marginally better than that. I suggest your imagination is the better one. Today was our first online class, and I ran really quickly to get my phone from upstairs, right? When I left, my brother, who's 11, ran into the room blasting Minecraft songs and my dog was jumping on him and barking. Well, I forgot to mute myself so everyone saw and heard what was going on, and now my English teacher thinks my family has issues. Also, forgot to mention there was like 50 people live on this chat looking at my screen while hearing everything in the background. Why the mental issues? Seems perfectly normal. Just imagine a little kid blasting Minecraft songs and a dog attacking him, then him running away with no context. We were playing a video game on Discord while being muted on the call with the class. My friend then decided to lecture me and our other teammates how we were bad and what we should do differently, while using a ton of swear words and yelling. Turns out he somehow unmuted himself, so he got kicked out of the call. My friend's dog started to bark and wave his tail when he heard us talking through the speaker. Very cute. The classic pet show and tell. A moment we all love. If we ever have to go on camera during meetings, everyone just grabs their pets. It's literally the best moment ever. Currently enrolled in an electrician trade school. The first class went a little messy. Some of the moments include the teacher finding out how to share his screen, then proceeds to draw giant dongs on a whiteboard programme. A loud, "Can you turn that effing movie off?" from one classmate to another, since he had a movie in the background. A guy thinking he had put his mic on mute and asked his GF/wife for head. He didn't have webcam on. Many technical difficulties. Understandable due to many of the guys in my class being 35 to 40 range. A guy drinking a beer in a tank top, just acting chill about it. I know many of these are not out of the ordinary, but for a school setting, I couldn't help but laugh. The smart kid turned himself into a pickle. It was the funniest I've ever seen. My teacher sent the link to his son to get to online classes as a test to see if it worked. The boy, who was in 7th grade, kept the link, so when we were in the middle of class, he got on and said, "Help! Help me! I've been stuck in this computer for 4 years, then the screen went black." My teacher explained it to us, then we all laughed. We had a lecture on the different generations, boomers, millennials, Gen Z, etc., and how to communicate with them. It ended up with some of us roasting each of the generations at least once, and lots of memes. I go to a small school, and we recently had the rest of the semester moved online. A couple of my good friends and I are in a class together, and our online classes are just like video conferences. So anyways, one of my friends, I'll call him JJ for Reddit's sake. JJ went to vacation amid the virus, so he's on this video class, and he texts me to ask if his camera and mic are off, because that's an option you can choose, and that he's going to a party. He gets changed, and all of a sudden, his camera and mic turn on, and he must have been doing the class from his phone, because all of a sudden, everyone in the class can see his screen and hear his audio, and he's walking out of the building he's in and gets in a car and proceeds to say, "Man, I just dipped out of the stupidest effing online class in the world. That teacher is a complete bitch." I don't know what's going to happen to him, but we got an email the next day from the university president about online class manners and respect. Lol. Oh, no way. That is the absolute worst. Being caught talking about someone behind their back. That is the worst thing ever. Guys, I want to hear your stories about when you've been caught talking about someone by them. Can you leave some in the comments, please? My professor had allowed his daughter to use his device before starting the video chat. We were silent for a moment until we heard the My Little Pony song playing in full volume. My professor was moved into instant shock and anxiety. Her daughter. His device. Gender fluid. Professor uploaded 3 videos on 3 topics. Alas, in the last video, there was no sound as his microphone was off. Poor guy. He had to record and re-upload the entire last lecture. But kudos to him. He did it within a couple of hours. The teacher got bored and gave us the answers. I don't know if receiving mails with schoolwork counts, but a few hours ago, I received an email from my math teacher. A surely hated one, since she tried to blame us for ganging up to paint her car with profanities, that said, "I'm an idiot beach." 5 minutes later, I see my class WhatsApp chat, and I see one of the most affected guys, whose parents almost had to pay a large bill until the police saw on the cameras that it was not him. He was saying, "I hacked her email. Meh, she deserved it. Enjoy your free day at your homes, you beaches." And I was like, what the hell? Not me, but my sister. My sister's college has been shut down due to the virus, so now takes online classes. The funniest thing I've heard from this experience so far is the fact that one of her professors changes his background. He, I guess, has a green screen or something. Every class, and today he changed the background to his adorable kitty cat who, funnily enough, looks just like my cat. During math class on Skype, I heard my classmate playing some kind of online browser shooter game. I don't know if the teacher didn't realise it or just didn't care, but I found it funny. Someone fell out of the chair because the cat scared them. A very nice kid's brother was swearing in the background while the teacher was doing attendance. The teacher told him, the kid, to mute it, so he shouted out to his brother to stop. My lit teacher's 8-year-old son participated in our literary discussion about Paul Auster's City of Glass, interspersed with comments about how Dad looks like and smells like my art teacher. He also said his interpretations of the novel were better than ours. No offence. Professor: Welp, I think that's all for today. Moment of silence. Student: Now that Professor X is gone, I can say the N-word. Professor: Actually, I'm still here. Edit: Totally forgot in another class some girl joined in the nude and her camera auto turned on. She said, "Oh, F," and left. Good times. My English teacher is pretty chill and owns TikTok. He said, "Let's take a dance break," and proceeded to try and do the renegade. It was a beautiful moment in history and I want to post it, but I can't. This mother effer owns TikTok. Goddamn TikTok. And he's an English teacher. I know, right? He's great. He doesn't do the dances very well, but it's still hilarious and funny to watch. That is actually sick. This guy owns TikTok and he's still an English teacher. That's just really cool because it's not like he needs the job, is it? He must just really enjoy being a teacher. I rate that. My prof's daughter and wife both Skype called him during lecture. It was a good laugh for everyone, including the prof, after the past week of chaos. Someone was watching in the train. Then when it came to her asking a question, we all heard the train announcements, the doors, people walking. In that moment, it was pretty funny after hearing nothing like that for 40 minutes. Sounds kind of boring now. But me admitting I hadn't got out of bed and had a shower yet at the end of the class might have been a bit TMI for people. So I might have been a cause of the funniest weird thing. I have multiple. My religion teacher had his nose all up to the camera on the first day we used the programme. Proceeded to dress like he was in Hawaii. 2. Later on the same day, it's geometry time, and I could barely hear my teacher over a chorus of students obnoxiously singing the teacher's name, which was mildly amusing, but there was some foul language in there as well. They must have forgotten all of the live sessions are recorded and are viewed by administrations, so I can't wait to see how that goes. I ended up missing a session by accident because I didn't know where the link was, but according to the teacher whose class I missed, said there was a lot of screaming during Quizlet Live and Kahoot. I'm glad I missed that. Holy bonkers. Art teacher had her daughter with her on the camera, and right as class ended, they started singing and dancing to a nursery rhyme that I can't remember the name of because I have potato memory. I had on a Dr. Seuss hat, the cat in the hat, but it was purple, and my teacher adored it and told me she had one as well. She was in the middle of a lesson, and I was using my phone to see how she was doing it, and I guess my phone was too high in the sky because she said, "Dear Fawns Cry, are you doing your 3 photos now?" while giggling. Someone yelled the N-word and was giving detention when we come back, which is never. Someone took a fat, noisy... None of my class do video call instructions, and instead our teachers would post instructions for us every day. Our site for my biology class is turned into a posting site, and I heard a physics teacher ask his students to turn in memes for their first assignment. Students who is classes. The correct term is whose. I'm too tired for this. Thanks for correcting me, kind strangers. A teacher with bad internet. Glitched out and looked like this. Kinda similar. How's the homework on these online classes? I know before this whole situation happened, online classes seemed to think it was a great idea to give away more homework and assignments than regular classes. Because reasons. For my college, I get a weekly folder with, I have to do for English. My other teachers are MIA though, no idea what they're thinking. So the teacher gave us work, and you can see the users who completed the assignment, and literally no one did anything. Sorry I'm late, missed the bus. My friend's brother who came to camera and said loudly, "Hi y'all!" The teacher saw these but have no reaction. For anyone that uses Go Soapbox, it is vulnerable to HTML injections. We don't use Go Soapbox anymore, but it was one of the funniest lectures I've ever been a part of. Please give some more details. You not. No matter how much I wish this was fake and made up. The basketball fanatic's sister came in, butt naked, and said, "I've been waiting for 10 minutes. How much longer until you come in my room?" And he turned around with the most humiliated face and said, "I'm on a video call with my class right now," and the sister looked completely mortified and walked out looking very pale. The fanatic left shortly after. We aren't going to school for who knows how long. I will update when we get to school. Roll Tide. Oh my god, what? That's just the weirdest thing ever. You guys are brother and sister. Hello, that is really weird. Absolute pair of wrong-uns. We did break-off groups on Zoom. I was chatting with 2 of my fellow seniors in the major. We were joking about the stupidest substitution for graduation they could pull, and the professor hops in to see how our assignment is going. We changed topics within a millisecond. Professor is cool though, so I don't think she really minded. It was a bit freaky though. We haven't done much yet, only a figuring out the basics of the program video call. My teacher said there is an indicator on the website where you can raise your hand and told us all to press it. She had to say, "Do not physically raise your hand," and some kids typed hand emojis into the chat room. My classes were already all online, but it's been amusing to see how others are coping. Someone pointed out that the teacher had Honey as a browser extension, and everyone started going crazy. Why? That's just an online discount extension. Why though? I changed my name to UWU and my background to a protogen furry thing. Well, we were in the biology class. The teacher was typing about animal reproduction, and when she said penis, my friend Betancourt said yummy. He got kicked from the chat for the rest of the class until the next one arrived. Also, our classes are in normal chat, not voice chat. During online classes, I was just relaxing on my bed half naked with the computer on my lap until I want to type something in the chat. I go over to press the button, but since it was early, I pressed the facecam button. Someone blasted TikTok music. Disgraceful, even for school. Well, nothing too exciting, but my history teacher learned how technically challenged she is, laughing my ass off. This isn't an online class, but recently my friend was at work still and was doing a big conference call instead of a meeting with people. And in the middle of it, she needed to go take care of something, or use the bathroom, I don't remember. So she put the call on hold, but forgot that the company has automatic hold music. So this entire conference of people just had to continue about their business with hold music playing over them. She was gone for like 30 minutes. We told our teacher to make his microphone a bit louder by pressing Alt plus F4. You know what happened next. One of you student types needs to play Baby Shark in a lecture. My sister does video call classes now, and I pop up behind her to say hello to my favourite teachers. Not me, but someone at my friend's uni accidentally turned their webcam on during class, which showed a class of 300 plus people him having sex during the online class. Teacher: "Okay kids, how do I turn on full screen?" Random dude: "Try Alt plus F4. I'm not joking, that actually happened. Some kid made pizza rolls before the lesson actually started, and as he was coming back, he dropped the entire plate on the floor. Funniest I've ever seen in my life, because he just sighed and couldn't even do anything because his dogs got to them immediately. Not a student, but in high school. I took a few classes that were online. I was taking information in society, while 2 classmates took some type of science class. Let's call them J and N. I walked into class one afternoon to find out from J that N had himself during lunch break. I tried my hardest not to laugh but failed miserably. I logged on the computer and was talking to the teacher. I was laughing so hard I was crying. Tried to be as quiet as possible so the teacher wouldn't hear me. I don't think she heard me, but the entire class and the teacher supervising the class did. He came up to me and told me to put my phone away and I was disturbing the class. I was texting N to tell him I heard he himself and asked him if he was still home or on his way back. I went for a 10-minute walk and proceeded to laugh as hard as I could to the point I was crying. I teased N about it for months afterwards, as did J. Never trust a fart. Lol. I heard he had to fart and forced it out. Did not go well. Literally nothing. Not my uni. Half our lectures don't record. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos coming daily.